There's a moment in the Gospels that most people read past too quickly. It happens after the resurrection, on a beach, over a charcoal fire, and if you slow down and actually sit in it, it might be one of the most personal conversations in the entire Bible. To understand why this moment matters so much, you have to go back a few weeks earlier to another fire. It's the night Jesus was arrested. He's just been taken into custody. And Peter, the disciple who, days before, had boldly declared he would die before ever abandoning. Jesus is standing outside in a courtyard, warming himself by a charcoal fire. And 3 separate times, people around that fire ask him if he knows Jesus. And 3 separate times, Peter says no. The 3rd time, Luke tells us, the rooster crows, and Jesus, who is being led away in chains at that exact moment, turns and looks straight at Peter. And Peter went outside and wept bitterly. Luke P. That look must have haunted him. Not anger, not surprise, just Jesus, looking at the man who swore loyalty just hours before, watching him fall apart in real time. Peter had spent 3 years by this point, walking with Jesus. He was the one who declared, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." He was the one who tried to walk on water. Toward him, he was impulsive, loud, deeply flawed, and deeply devoted. And in one terrifying night, all of that devotion cracked under pressure, and he denied even knowing his name. Jesus dies. Jesus rises. And in the chaos and joy of those following weeks, you'd think this would just get glossed over, forgiven and forgotten, never spoken of again. But Jesus doesn't let it go unaddressed. He goes looking for Peter, specifically, to deal with it directly. It happens in John chapter 21. The disciples have gone back to fishing, back to their old life. In some ways, unsure of what comes next, Jesus appears on the shore, and after a miraculous catch of fish, they realize it's him. And what does he do? He builds a charcoal fire and cooks them breakfast. That detail is easy to miss, but it's not an accident. The Greek word for charcoal fire appears only twice in the entire New Testament, once in the courtyard the night Peter denied him, and once right here, on this beach. Jesus recreates the exact scene of Peter's greatest failure and sits Peter down in front of it. Then comes the question. When they had finished eating, Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you truly love me more than these?" "Yes, Lord," he said. "You know that I love you." Jesus said, "Feed my lambs." John 21:15. He asks again. Again Jesus said, "Simon, son of John, do you truly love me?" He answered, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." Jesus said, "Take care of my sheep." John 21:16. And the third time he said to him, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter was hurt because Jesus asked him the 3rd time, "Do you love me?" He said, "Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you." Jesus said, "Feed my sheep." John 21:17. 3 denials, 3 questions. That's not a coincidence, that's restoration. Deliberately measured out to match the wound exactly. Jesus isn't asking because he doesn't know the answer. He's asking so Peter can hear his own voice say it out loud, in front of witnesses. Standing in the ashes of the same kind of fire, where he once said the opposite. There's a detail in the original language worth pausing on. In the first 2 questions, Jesus uses the Greek word, agapao, a deep, sacrificial, unconditional love. Peter, maybe humbled, maybe unsure he can claim that level anymore after what he did, responds each time with phileo, a warmer, more human word, like the love of a close friend. And by the 3rd question, Jesus meets him there. He switches to phileo himself, asking Peter with the very word Peter had been using. It's as if Jesus is saying, whatever love you have, whatever you can actually offer me right now, broken and imperfect as it is, that's enough. Bring that. This is what makes the scene so different from a courtroom. Jesus isn't cross-examining Peter to prove his guilt. He's giving him 3 chances to reverse 3 failures. And each time Peter answers, Jesus doesn't just say, "I forgive you." He gives him a job. Feed my lambs. Take care of my sheep. Feed my sheep. Restoration, in Jesus' hands, doesn't just mean being let off the hook. It means being handed responsibility again, trusted again, sent out again. Think about who this became. This same Peter, the one who couldn't even admit to a servant girl that he knew, Jesus, later stood in front of thousands on the day of Pentecost and preached the sermon that started the church. Tradition holds he was eventually crucified for his faith, upside down, by his own request, because he didn't consider himself worthy to die the same way his Lord did. The man who once denied Jesus to save his own life ended up giving his life rather than deny him again. That transformation didn't start with willpower. It started with a question, asked 3 times. beside a fire that looked just like the one where he'd failed. There is a time in my life I watched a lot of sexual content to please my desires. I felt in a constant loop. I was falling over and over, but God still called and I always begged for his forgiveness. Yes, I messed up, but God was still willing to forgive, and I made changes to please him rather than myself. That is love. I stopped access to it and was accountable. Does temptation still come? Yes. I would not lie. But was there always a way out? Yes. So it is up to you to decide or not. In moving forward with his love and not allowing guilt to overwhelm you, here's what this story is really saying. Underneath all of it, failure isn't the end of the relationship. If you're willing to answer honestly when he asks. He's not asking you to pretend that denial never happened. He's not asking for a flawless track record before he'll trust you with anything again. He's asking one simple, repeated question. The same one he asked Peter by that fire. Do you love me? Not, do you have it all figured out? Not, have you stopped struggling? Just, do you love me? Whatever kind of love you can actually bring right now. Broken and imperfect as it is, bring that. Say it out loud, even in the ashes of your worst moment. Because on the other side of that answer isn't condemnation. It's a job, a purpose. Feed my sheep. He's still asking, and he's still waiting for your answer.